Okay, let's break down what actually happened with the US strikes on Iran's nuclear sites, because this story is a lot more complicated than the headlines make it seem. There's been a tidal wave of speculation, rumors, and dramatic claims, but if you look closer, the reality is layered and full of unanswered questions. The media coverage has been intense, with every network and social feed lighting up with breaking news alerts. But with so much hype, it's easy to lose sight of what's actually confirmed and what's just speculation. So let's sift through the noise and get to the facts. On June 21st, the US launched what they called Operation Midnight Hammer. The mission, to hit 3 of Iran's most critical nuclear sites, Fordow, Natanz, and Isfahan. These aren't just dots on a map. They're the backbone of Iran's nuclear infrastructure, and each one is buried deep underground or heavily fortified. These facilities are designed to withstand almost anything. Thick concrete, steel reinforcements, and layers of security. The US knew it would take more than a standard airstrike to even scratch the surface. That's why they sent in 7 B-2 stealth bombers, some of the most advanced aircraft in the world. These bombers are built to slip past radar and deliver their payloads with pinpoint accuracy, even in the dead of night. And for the first time ever in combat, the US used their 30,000-pound bunker buster bombs, massive weapons designed to punch through layers of earth and concrete before detonating. The goal was to reach the heart of these nuclear sites, where Iran's most sensitive work was happening. But that wasn't all. Tomahawk cruise missiles were launched from a US submarine lurking in the region, adding another layer of firepower and precision to the operation. These missiles can be programmed to hit specific targets from hundreds of miles away. In total, over 125 aircraft took part in the operation: fighters, bombers, refueling planes, and electronic warfare jets. It was a massive, coordinated assault, the kind you rarely see outside of full-scale war. The scale alone sent a clear message. But here's the big question. Did all this firepower actually obliterate Iran's nuclear program? This is where things get murky, and the answers aren't as clear-cut as you might expect. US officials were quick to claim victory, saying the sites were devastated, and Iran's nuclear ambitions had been dealt a crushing blow. But so far, there's no independent confirmation that everything was destroyed, or that Iran's program is truly crippled. Even some US military sources have admitted it's too early to know the full extent of the damage. Intelligence is still coming in, and satellite images can only tell part of the story. And according to CNN, the US may have actually held back its most powerful bombs from one of the sites, possibly out of concern for radioactive fallout or civilian casualties. That means at least one facility might have survived the worst of the attack. Iran, meanwhile, is pushing back hard. Officials claim the damage is minimal, that their nuclear program is still intact, and that the US failed to achieve its main objectives. They're denying any major setbacks and insisting they'll rebuild whatever was lost. Interestingly, no radioactive leaks have been detected at any of the sites, which could suggest that the core nuclear material survived the strikes. If true, that means Iran's ability to restart its program might be less effective than the US hoped. And here's another twist. Some intelligence reports suggest Iran wasn't actually racing to build a bomb, despite what some politicians have claimed. The reality of Iran's nuclear ambitions is still hotly debated, both inside and outside the intelligence community. So, what's the bottom line? The US may have set Iran's nuclear program back, maybe by months, maybe by years. But to say it was completely destroyed? That's still very much up in the air. The truth is, these kinds of facilities are designed to be rebuilt, and Iran has shown resilience before. And with Iran vowing retaliation and promising to accelerate its efforts, the cycle of escalation is far from over. The region is on edge, and the world is watching to see what happens next. So, stay tuned, because in conflicts like this, the truth is rarely simple, and nothing is ever as clear as it seems. The story is still unfolding, and the real impact may not be known for months or even years.